Audra at Home is filmed in front of a live Pitbull audience.
Whew, y'all. Whew. I didn't even get to take my hair out of the bun. I have two pieces. Listen, it is a mess. I just finished watching Purple Hearts and listen, y'all, I need to tell you that I enjoy, I've said this, I finally had to admit it, that I enjoy a completely implausible rom-com that's fun and ludicrous. This ain't it, all right? By the way, welcome back to all my bros, queerdos and weirdos. My name is Audra. I'll be your host for this video today. I'm gonna be a whole mess. This thing, listen, I'm in the dark. First of all, I'm gonna start filming with like dimmer lights because honestly, it hurts my eyes. But secondly, this movie, I don't know how it has a 7.2 on IMDb, but like I think I kind of do, because this movie, if it doesn't matter what our political views are, we can still be friends. We're a movie. It's this movie. That is this movie. So Purple Hearts is supposed to be a romantic film about two people. It stars Sophia Carson and some other guy. I don't know who he is, and I'm not going to look it up, okay? That's where we are. Maybe I'll put his name in here in editing, but I'm also going to be talking very, very fast because like my mind still can't comprehend the hot trash that this movie is. Okay. So the movie starts off and you find out that Sophia, who I think her name is Cassie in this movie. It's Cassie. We're going to say Cassie. And she is a singer, an aspiring singer, and she works, of course, in some shitty bar. And of course she does. Of course she works in a shitty bar. So she works in a shitty bar. She is very attractive, Latin, okay? But of course, as they do in all these movies where somebody is ethnic, is the whitest possible version of that ethnicity. It really is. It's like, how can we have her be Latin but very white? And they figured it out. So the movie is about her. She has diabetes and she can't afford it because she's broke, She's a broke, struggling artist. And her mom's like, why won't you move in the house with me? And she's like, Mom, I'm an adult and please be nice to me because I'm broke. Which, you know what? I understood that, but my mom hasn't been mean to me when I've been broke. I just have to tell her to be nice to me because I have too much pride. And also I feel like I should be able to take care of myself. And whenever I can't take care of myself, I get so stressed out about it that I don't ask for help. So the point is, I understood her. And I'm going into this just like, you know what? Maybe this isn't going to be what I thought it was going to be. But you know what? It is. It's exactly what I thought it was going to be. Y'all, I cannot deal with it. Okay, so what happens is she runs into like a bunch of Marines walk into her bar that she's like bartending at or waitressing, serving. I don't know what the plural is of what they're doing. So anyways, she's the server and a bunch of Marines walk in. And these Marines, one of them is like a friend of hers that she grew up with, the black guy. There's another blackish guy, but he's a total douchebag for like literally no reason. It's very odd. Anyway, they're trying to hit on her and she's not having it. Her friend is there. She's so excited to see him. She loves him so much. But the white guy who's like, I've got a square jaw, she's like obviously not interested in, which of course means they're going to be interested in each other. So anyway, she has been having trouble trying to get medication for her diabetes, okay? And she has been struggling, right? Every time she needs to get more insulin, it's so expensive and her insurance doesn't cover it. It's just like, it's a whole ass mess, obviously. The American healthcare system, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, and everyone in between. So the thing is, here's where it starts getting rowdy. She's like, because somebody makes a joke. It's this.
Did you see the guy who looks like he's 12 years old? He told me that I should reconsider my stance on men because if I marry him, I would get incredible health insurance.
Health insurance? That's some dirty talk right there.
So hot.
And so she remembers that and she's like, oh my God, I could just marry a military guy and like get free health insurance. Go girl, do your thing. I support this. So anyways, she goes over to her friend. His name is Frankie. And she's like, not the same night. It's a different day. She goes over to his house. And of course, the blockhead is there. I don't know his name. I literally just finished this movie and I like don't know his name. Oh my God. Audra, you're terrible at this. This is supposed to be like one of your side gigs, and you're not even side gigging it side properly. Anyway, so his name is Luke. That's such an easy name. Such an easy name, and I couldn't remember it. It's so difficult to deal with this new fancy phone. Anyways, but Luke happens to be there while she's propositioning Frankie, being like, Frankie, could you just like marry me? Because I have diabetes and I found out 6 months ago and I can't afford this shit. Like, I can either write music and like, or pay rent, something to that. No. I can either pay rent or I can pay for my medicine, but I can't do both. Like, I'm just dying slowly. She says it better than I do, and I'm gonna see if I can insert that.
I found out 6 months ago that I have diabetes, type 1, and get this, the insurance I have doesn't actually cover the insulin that I need to like live. So I can either pay off my debt or pay my rent, but I can't do both.
You are like, okay, that's her story. Now we're going to go over to Luke's story, because Luke goes running and some guy's like chasing him in a truck, and you're like, what the hell? And it turns out to be some guy named Jojo or Josh. Who cares? Because he's not super integral to the plot of this film. And like he shows up at like a couple of times, and it actually makes it worse. So apparently Luke owes this guy like 15 G's, right? And they don't really get into exactly why he owes him this money. You start kind of having to piece it together quite a bit. He finally explains the situation at some point, and it doesn't matter by then. But basically, I'm going to go ahead and spoil it. Also, if you didn't know, this is definitely going to be filled with spoilers because I'm doing it as we speak. So, if you wanted to watch it, I don't recommend it. I don't. If you are a leftist, like, this movie will make you roll your eyes so fucking hard that you will see the back of your head. So anyways, basically Luke was like a wild child, and he joined the military to grow up and be a man. Sorry, I can't say it without laughing. Because like every movie that has somebody join the military, it's like the exact same thing. It's always like, I was wild and up, and the military was the only place that would take me. So, like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get it, keep it together. So Luke realizes that he could actually benefit from a fake marriage as well, because that extra money he could use to pay off this douchebag, So he's like, listen, let's get married. He doesn't tell Cassie, though, that he had a drug problem and he has a drug dealer trying to chase him. By the way, just another like little detour. I just want to say that it wouldn't make any sense for some low-life drug dealer to try to like harm this guy in the military. Like, I'm just saying, like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you're a low-level drug dealer. It doesn't help your case. Like, you're gonna get caught and you're gonna go to prison. Like, this doesn't make sense. But okay, we'll pretend that like Luke is super scared and he's like, oh no, my life. So they get married. They have a little fake wedding, and it's just like the two of them, civil ceremony. And the thing that kills me is that she's supposedly liberal and he is not. This is why this movie goes off the rails and into a trash heap. Like because I actually do love a good fake married movie, like The Proposal. Like, I love these types of movies because they bring me so much joy. When they start finding out that they're in love, I'm like, yes, get it. This is totally implausible and I live for it. But this one, I was just like, this is exactly why. Listen, this is why woke movies doesn't work. But anyways, it feels like they're trying to like, because I'm sitting here like, what story are you trying to tell? How shitty the American healthcare system is? Or like, what they're really trying to do is, if you're a liberal, you can get together with someone who isn't, and love will be the common denominator. They don't even really address her being liberal or him not, like him being conservative, beyond like the first parts of this movie. Like you see it there, like I'm a dark-haired liberal with tattoos and rings, and he's just like, I'm a square-jawed conservative and I'm gonna fucking go fight in Iraq, and that's like the whole thing. And they are gonna go fight in Iraq. That part is really just depressing, and obviously it's depressing in real life, but there's something about the way that they did this in this movie which is a bit unsettling. It's a bit unsettling. So she marries him, they're married, and he's going off to Iraq. He's shipping off, but now, you know, he ships off, she says goodbye, they have to pretend that they're like in love, and she's like, oh, kissy kissies, bye, and they're like, do this whole thing where they're like, one more time for the newlyweds, and I was just like, ugh.
Hey guys, one more time for the newlyweds! Hey! There you go! Hey, come on! Come get your prize! I'm sorry.
But now she is able, now that she can get her diabetes under control by utilizing the military's medical system, which is fantastic actually, but she's able to use that. I'm the child of a military mother, so that's why I know. I didn't do anything fraudulent. Thank you. Yet. Anyways, so for all intents and purposes, that is a joke, not a threat. Anyways, now she can handle her diabetes, so now she can really sing, you know, now she can really get into her, like, I'm an artist career. So she starts writing songs, and she's like talking to him back and forth. They're writing letters to each other because they have to make this marriage look very real, because it's against the code of conduct for the military for you to falsify a marriage in which to utilize the benefits. I'm so sorry. Listen, I watch enough like true crime, and the thing that really bothers me about this is I'm just like, they have literal predators still in the military. Like I really don't think they're giving two shits about like your fake marriage. Okay.
My dear husband, car ride over plane ride, breakfast tacos over late night tacos.
My darling wife. Nothing ruins a taco more than hot sauce.
They don't care, but that seems like they're trying to hinge this on that. I'm just like, okay. All right. So anyways, I feel like y'all can't see my eyes because they're like really closed. I'm sorry. I'm super tired. Like it's 8:39. I'm so sleepy. I need to take a shower. Listen, I'm going to do this video like half asleep, and you're just going to have to deal with this like extra energy. This is how I am before I go to sleep. So anyways, they're like messaging each other back and forth, and she writes the song, Come Back Home. It's nice. It's like a nice song. Her voice is like good. Sophia Carson is actually a real singer who plays Cassie, and it's like good, but there's something I don't like about that. I can't figure it out. I haven't figured it out yet. The whole time that she's been singing, I will sit there and be like, I don't like it, but I can't figure out why I don't like it. So it's very strange. So anyways, her career is starting to take off, and like at one point they really need some cheering up because things have been rough over there fighting a war. And so she sings them a little songy song, and they're like, oh. And after the songy song, you know, they do this weird sequence, and it feels very Jordan Peele-ish, where like you can hear her song in the background, like coming home, and then like war, you know what I mean? Then war happens. Apparently he steps on an IUD. And like, it's not good. And she was given, let me just scooch back because I forgot something. What I forgot was before Luke ships off to war, he's like, if anything happens to me over there, contact my brother. He gives her this like paper where he's written down his brother's name and his number. And he's like, tell him to make up something for dad. Like he can't know about this situation. All right. So we have that happening. And it's very like, okay, so now we're moving back forwards because listen, this is what I do. And she's just done a good gig, and she gets a call from Germany And her song has been going viral, the Come Back Home Soldier song. Like all of a sudden she goes from being like very like liberal to just like America, like flags and shit. It's wild. It's wild. Like this movie just is whiplash. So anyway, she gets a call. It's from Germany. Her husband has been, injured. His legs have been shattered. And I'm saying that very matter of fact. I'm sorry. I don't know how to like say that in any other way. So like this is just who I am as a person. So I apologize. I don't always have the best affect. The point is, he has been injured. He's in a hospital. She's going to go see him, but she has to go find his brother because she's looking for the paper and she can't find the paper, but she does remember his name, and his name is what? Jacob Morrow. See, I remember Jacob Morrow. I can't remember the main character. That's because he wasn't that interesting. Anyway, so she goes, Googles Jacob Morrow, gets there and realizes like that's an old man. And so she's just like trying to get to Luke's brother. And he's like, listen, I'm his father. Who the hell are you? And she was like, I am his wife. And, she's like, he has been injured in battle. And he's like, okay. So she sees him and she ends up, taking care of him, and they're like starting to fall for each other like they do. She also ends up finding out that her best friend, the other black guy who was of any significance to the story, he didn't make it. Of course he didn't. He's the black guy. So now what we have is a little love story happening as she nurses him back to health, and he starts walking again. Like all these wonderful things are happening. But of course, and like her musical career is really starting to skyrocket. But of course, we're gonna have to have some tension in this bitch. And that tension is, because I kept walking around while I was watching this movie being like, does anybody else just forget about this drug dealer that he owes $15K to? Because I didn't. And guess what? They didn't forget. He still exists in the film. So what happens is while Cassie is away at a gig singing her song, Come Back Home, that's like the theme song. While she is away doing that, somebody breaks into her mother's house, and Luke goes over and, he goes inside and checks the house out, realizes, yeah, it was the drug dealer. It was the drug dealer. He did, in fact, bust in there to get his money, which is so weird to me because I felt like Luke was paying him, but maybe he forgot. I wasn't paying attention as much as I could have been. Listen, anybody with ADHD knows we're watching a movie with like one eye and half an ear, and these are the facts. Listen, we're doing multiple things while we're trying to watch this movie, and if it's not grabbing your attention like fully, you're just kind of like one eye over to look and see what's happening when the music changes, and that's the ear, So anyway, so that's what we have going on there. So he realizes that the drug dealer has done this and has harmed his family. And he's like, you better not. But as he gets home and they get home together. And she is looking a little peaked, you know what I mean? She's looking a little weak. And he's just like, girl, when's the last time that you ate? And she was like, I don't know. And she's just like struggling and kind of falling around. And obviously diabetes, you know what I mean? She's having that sugar problem. Her little thing is hooked up to it. It's like, beep, 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 bop, beep, beep. And I don't know why I made that song. I'm so sorry. It was weird. Beep, beep, bop, beep. Anyways, we're going to move on. So, he helps her. He gets her like some sugary stuff, and they're like hugging each other and give a little kissy kiss. And he was like happy to take care of her. And she was like, see, I let you take care of me. I'm so sexy. Anyways, what happens from this point is that Luke is like, fuck this. And he goes and he finds that guy, the drug dealer, Josh or Joby or Jojoba or Jojoba. I'm not sure. Who cares? Because he's not really in this movie except for like when they need this situation to come up, right? So he sees him and he's like, hey, and they start fighting. He's like, you get the hell away from her. You stay away from my wife. You stay away from her mom. Like, here's your money. He like gives him a packet of money, which if he could have just gotten that packet of money from Jump, why didn't he just do that? Like, that's so annoying. Like, that's such an annoying subplot. Like, I don't exactly know where he got the money from, and I don't feel like they really told me where he got it from. They could have. I could have just not been paying attention. If you watched this movie and you liked it or you didn't like it, but you saw where he got the money from, let me know. So anyway, he just like, I'm just like, bro, if you could have just got that money from the Jump, like, anyways, But the fun fact about that dude is that he did, for some reason, tell the drug dealer, like, before this, like, long before this, when he told him he was going to get his money, he did tell him his plan of getting into a fraudulent marriage, right? So he's able to fight the drug dealer. We're going backwards now. See, backwards, forwards. Can you follow the story? I don't know. Are you still here with me? I hope so. Anyway, now we're back in the present time where he's beating his ass and being like, don't you touch nobody. Here's your money. Like, leave everybody alone, right? And you're like, okay, cool. So it's over, right? No, it's not over, because for some reason, Jordy, Joby, Jonathan, whatever his name is, has decided that he's going to, like, report on this fake marriage, and I just don't know why. Like, he got paid, like, right? Like, he got his money. Like, all the money he needed that was owed to him was paid. And he's a fucking drug dealer. This is where I don't, like, where it just really, like, falls all the way apart, because I'm like, bro, you are a drug dealer. Like, you cannot lob accusations like that, reports of being in a fraudulent marriage, and then just like, okay. So now, you know, Luke is now like, he comes in the house and he sees that she's like that Cassie's packing her shit. And he's like, what the hell is going on? Where are you going? And she's like, bro, my mom told me about Joby or Jordy or Jonathan or Jojoba, whatever his name is, coming. And he said that he was going to report you for your fake marriage. And he was like, well, is he said something? And I don't know. She basically says something to the effect of, you didn't even ask me who he was. So you know who he is. And he's like, listen. And he goes through this whole thing talking about how he was an addict. He's like, listen, girl, I was an addict back in the day. I was wild. I was a furry. And I was causing all kinds of problems. Something about stealing a car. His dad was like, you're going to have to pay this back, because it was a car that his dad was working on for a customer. Very convoluted, but like, I'm making it more complicated than it is. Basically, he had to pay back his dad. And in order to pay back his dad, he had to borrow money from Jordy, the drug dealer. We're going to call him Jordy. And so it was 50 G's, but I guess whatever money he couldn't get, he got from Jordy. So he got $15,000 from Jordy, and Jordy wanted that money back because he's like, I'm a drug dealer, and that's what they do. They want their money back. So all of that. And she's like, well, tell your dad and such, we are getting divorced. And so then, like, she leaves. She's like, I'm gonna go do my show, but when I come back, you best be gone, bitch. And it's like, okay. So he's like sad because he really likes her, and she likes him too. You know what I mean? They'd be kissing and making love. They did have sex on their wedding night too, because that wasn't awkward. I got to go back to that too. I actually do have to go back to that moment. I will. After I'm done telling the story, I hopefully will remember to go back to the wedding night sex thing. So anyways, she leaves. She goes and does her little show. And while she's doing that, he starts running because he's been like, getting his legs back. Because, in order for these movies to work, he has to be fully able, because that's how it works. These movies are like kind of ableist in that way. You know what I mean? They really are. They'll be like, well, they can't be too disabled or people won't like it. So anyway, he starts running and realizing like he can run again. And he's super excited because running is like, I guess, a thing for him where he's like, I can run. So he's running and he's happy. But when he gets back, a car pulls up and they're like, Lance Corporal Morrow, you have been accused of fraudulent. I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing at it because like the very idea that like that is the top priority for the military right now in the middle of a war. Okay, I just want to say this out loud. They're in the middle of a war. Their top priority right now is like, don't let nobody get no free fucking benefits. So anyway, he has to go do that, and she shows up for the like court hearing or whatever, but he like takes full responsibility. And I was just like, why is this happening? Why wouldn't anybody just be like, Your Honor, that dude who reported it was a fucking drug dealer? Like, I owed this drug dealer money and he just started lying on my ass, and like she could just support him because, girl, you ain't famous yet. You still need that money for your insulin, bitch. So like I would have been like, no, we're keeping my benefits. We just need to tell them that like that guy's a drug dealer and that was from your past and he was blackmailing you and he said that to try to ruin your life. It's so simple. So like that would have been more fun, because to me, if they had done it that way, then they would have had like a little bit more time to spend, but then it wouldn't have like really highlighted Sophia Carson's singing voice. Like there's like, it's a thing that she does at the back of her throat that I don't like. That's what it is. I'm going to see if I can put it in here at some point, but there's this sound that she makes. I don't live for it. Anyway, so he is going to go to jail and she is now really starting to like take off because she is going to open for Florence and the Machine. So she's super excited. She's like, holy shit, oh my God, I'm so happy. And then she sings her new song, I guess, at the Hollywood Bowl. And she's like, and as she starts realizing like they all do the same face. Look, I'm going to put this in here for you because this is the same face that was on Jennifer Lopez's face in the movie Marry Me, which if you haven't seen that video, right here. I'm sorry I made that disgusting mouth noise. Anyway, the look, you know, they're like, oh my God, I do love him. Look, right? So she like runs out. Everybody's like screaming for it. She gets in her piece of shit car, like realism, because she's not famous yet. She's opening for Florence and the Machine, but she's still got a piece of shit car, which is fine. That's actually real life. So, so here she is, like driving off to go see him before he goes to prison. And she goes there and she's like, we were in a real, she gives him this like little speech about how like, this is a real marriage. And I'm just sitting here like, wait, so he's still gonna go to jail. He still goes to jail for 6 months, y'all. And then he's like dishonorably discharged. For what? There were like, it's a real marriage. It's not a fraud then. It's not fraud. They don't even like really clear that up. Like, no, he's just gonna go to jail. Like his dad's super proud of him for like taking responsibility for his mistakes. You're a shitty dad. Don't let your son go to jail for 6 months for fake marrying a chick that he now loves. Like what? Who? And it just ends with him, like with her yelling, like, I love you, as he's like driving off on the prison bus. And it's like the end. And then it's a montage. I'm starting to sweat. I'm laughing too hard. Oh my God. I'm so... Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh, it's just like, there's a montage of her being like, welcome home. And they're wearing all white outfits on the beach. And they're just in love. Oh, please forgive me. All right, so I've returned. All right, I've returned. I think the giggle fit is over. So it's a love story. Hi, it's editing me. I'm showered and I'm clean and I feel amazing-ish. So here's the thing. I lost it on this because the shift, like it just, there were so many unanswered questions, right? So first of all, like the fact that he goes to prison and then it's just like, welcome home. I'm like, his life is ruined. He was dishonorably discharged and you'll have them running down the beach? Confusion. Not only that, it's like, you know, Joby, whatever his name is. He, like, it doesn't even make sense that the military would just take him seriously. Like just some random drug dealer who's like, hey, this marriage is fake. So like that doesn't make sense. Then you have the fact that like, did she make it as a big star? We don't know. Cause like, I mean, she has diabetes. The whole reason they got married was, you know, so that he could pay off the drug dealer and she could take care of her diabetes. But oh, guess what? She's not a big star yet. We saw her leave in a piece of shit car. So is she a big star to where she doesn't have to worry about her diabetes? We don't know. They're running down the beach together, hand in hand with their dog, all in white. It just like mind blown. I literally don't like nothing was solved. Like he went to jail. His military career is ruined. We don't know if she made it as a celebrity. How's her diabetes? 7.2 on IMDb. I can't fathom how that happened. But I can, because this movie is the type of movie that it's the thing that I talk about sometimes where I talk about how if you're not an American, if you're not from America, you do not understand the amount of propaganda we get in our movies. And this is no exception, right? She quite literally goes from being like, you know, like a Twitter liberal to just like, I'm a soldier's wife. And it's just like never talked about again. Like that's another thing that really wasn't answered. How did they solve their like political differences? You know what I mean? Like he's conservative, he believes in love, she doesn't believe in those things. Like love just solved everything. And the thing is, this is why I say I don't like these types of movies. I like ridiculous rom-coms that are like just so outlandish, because like these are the ones where you're just sitting there with questions like this couldn't happen in real life. And the very fact that they were really trying to focus on the idea that the military is really like this is their big thing. I mean, I get it because they're like, you know, trying to use him in the military and really trying to hammer home like this is not, you can't do this. So I guess that's why they ended it with like he still has to go to prison. But it just like, I feel like honestly they could have made this movie with an investigation being done into their marriage and then them having to continue to stay together and like realize that they do actually love each other, which leads to the military being like, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with your marriage, it's fucking great. And then she's a big star and she's really happy and he's in the military. I just, the way that it was like, I love you. Well, he's going way up to prison. Who thought that that was beautiful? Like, who was like, yes, this is a love story for the ages. It's not though. I don't know. This one, the giggles that I got were just uncontrollable and I couldn't keep myself together because the more I thought about it, or it was just like his career is in shambles, he probably won't be able to get a job, like, but y'all on the beach. All right, back to old me, past me. I guess wrapping this thing up. Thank y'all for watching, by the way. I just wanted to say that because like it's been a rough few days. This movie must have like guys who put moderate as their political affiliation on Tinder like salivating, right? Like there is a reality that they might be able to get that like hot liberal girl so long as they're in the military. I guess, I don't know. It's just very odd. I feel like there's a lot of things that they definitely missed the mark on. Obviously, one of those things very much being like that they don't really get into discussing the fact that they have completely two differing views. And it's more of a liberal turnaround movie because she kind of basically just stops being liberal essentially because her man is at war, and so obviously like she can't be a liberal anymore. So it's very like weird that is the thing. And they completely gloss over the fact that like the healthcare here is so trash that this is what you would want to do. That like your options are to get into a fraudulent marriage to have healthcare. or die. So I just don't feel like whoever wrote this really understood what they were doing. Maybe they did understand what they were doing, because they hit their target audience and they love the movie. They love it. They're like, this is so romantic. And I'm like, it's not. I'm so sorry. No. Wedding night, just a quick scooch back. I just want to show you like this little bit of the scene from the wedding night, because, you know, they walk into the room and it's supposed to be, he's like, I ordered 2 beds. And she's like, I'm sure, like whatever. And then they just do that thing where they just end up being like, and there's no rhyme or reason for them really falling for each other. It just feels very like forced. Like when they're writing the letters and stuff after he's gone, I can see how like they would have more of a connection when he gets back. Although it's weird that that they decided to use like an injury in war to do that. But it's very interesting that they just don't really do a lot to build up for them to like kind of even want to make love on their wedding night. It's just like, I guess you're hot. So it's just like an awkward scene to me, because like they literally just met and they've agreed to this marriage, and then they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna bang.
I should wash up.
Cassie.
So like, here's my thing is I'm just like, I don't know why y'all didn't defend your fraudulent marriage. I just felt like that would have made more, to me, that makes more sense. Just defend it and say it's not fraudulent. The end. Like, his family has seen y'all together. What the hell do you mean? Like, I think that's the thing that gets me. Like, there was no need for him to go to prison. Like, they really could have just like nipped that whole thing in the bud. There was no reason for the drug dealer of all people to be like reporting out. Like, why would the drug dealer do that? He's a drug dealer. Like, that's the thing that's killing me, is I'm just like, he is a drug dealer. So anyway, that is Purple Hearts. If you have the cojones to watch such a thing, then do so. If you have like the labial strength to get in there and watch the ridiculousness that is this, I don't like this. It wasn't good for me. This was not good for me. This gave me like a little bit of diarrhea, and I also got gassy. So this gets, zero black hearts. If I could, no, you know what? I'll give it 1 black heart for the songs. Whereas Marry Me got 4, because it was just so ridiculous and fun. I might almost put it at 5, almost. Anyways, that is it. That is the video. If this thing takes off, you're gonna see a lot more of these types of videos where I like literally just finish watching the video and come run and talk about it, because I that's who I am. And also I don't have a lot of time. If I could just sit down and write notes and like be a person who like can do, I would, but I can't. So this is what you get. All right. If you are new here, stick around. There's some videos here that you can watch. I do whatever I want here. Actually, I really do whatever I want. And if you like makeup, you like gaming, you like movies, you like horror movies, stick around, hang out, have some fun. All right, y'all, that is it. That is the video. Huge, ginormous shout out, because this video, like all of my videos, is sponsored by my wonderful patrons and channel members, without whom I would not be able to have the time, energy, and ability to take time in between each video, or do the live streams, or do the editing, all the things that y'all contribute to. It's amazing. It's wonderful. It makes my dream of being a creative person on the internet just come true a little bit more every single day. So I appreciate y'all with everything I got. All right, if you like this, give this a thumbs up, because that lets me know if you like these like odd little series that I just start. And stay tuned. I have a supernatural video coming soon. Don't get mad. All right, that's it. Remember, it costs $0 to be kind. It's so good for your soul, because if you don't take care of it, I'm sure shit coming for yours. Until next time, XOXO. Gothic girl. Sorry, I could not stop touching my hair. Leave me alone. He went to jail.